UA Little Rock is doing amazing research that is really focused on improving the lives of Arkansans, but not just Arkansans. It's going to impact people all across the nation, and evidence of this is that defense agencies are really focused on funding this research because it meets national defense interest and really helps us establish the security of our nation, and that will benefit the lives of people all over the world. That ranges all the way from making new materials resistant to microbes and bacteria, all the way through cybersecurity. University of Arkansas Little Rock is an R2 institution. One of the most important things we do at UA Little Rock is getting students involved in research. Research universities are great at producing knowledge, but that knowledge doesn't help us very much if we're not using that pursuit of knowledge to help train the students. We are developing workforce for the next generation of technologies. It's one thing to encourage big companies to move to Little Rock, but it's another thing to really build from the ground up. A lot of our big projects are defense related, and since inception, they've received nearly $70 million in defense related funding. We've got lots of students participating in research across campus, from high school students all the way up through PhD students. The overall support from our political leaders, both in the state and in Congress, has been instrumental in helping us be able to do this great work.
This is Senator John Boozman, and I'm very pleased to share my continued support for the U of A Little Rock Center for Integrative Nanotechnology. It's surely been an asset that fosters important research and innovation, and I've enjoyed visiting over the years to learn more about the exciting breakthroughs that often result in commercial or practical applications. Things like helping to heal our wounded veterans. That's why I've advocated federal funding for projects that impact our state and far beyond. We are very proud to host such game-changing work in Central Arkansas and look forward to many more advancements that will enhance its excellent reputation in the years to come.
Our research has been lately focused on developing nanoscale-based materials for regeneration of lost tissues. So imagine when somebody, because of a disease, because of a trauma event, because of an accident situation, loses part of its body. Our goal is to use these novel materials and to assemble them into systems that can regenerate these lost tissues. So we started with this research many years ago, and we were lucky enough to get the first grant from the Department of Defense, and then it pretty much snowballed into a program that I'm very proud of. It's a program that covers outstanding research, phenomenal outcomes, education of the next generation, and the commercial aspect. Because ultimately what we want is for work to be translated into a product that surgeons can use. We partner with some of the most outstanding universities in the country: UMS, University of Tennessee, Knoxville, Colorado State University. This is not a one-year effort where you run as fast as you can. This is a marathon. We've been working on this technology for close to 20 years now. This process takes time. So they believed in us and they allowed us to actually develop this technology, develop this product over such an extended period of time. Not many universities have this kind of vision from the leadership. I want to see an industry developing in Arkansas, biomedical industry, and these kids can be the foundation for this industry. Arkansas is perfectly positioned for that. I think that we have everything that needs to be there in order for us to be successful. If we want to develop these technologies, who's gonna implement all these technologies? Obviously, the students that we are currently forming. I love the passion of these students. I think they are amazing. The process that we have developed here shows that if we have the right environment, these students will bloom, and they are spectacular. You take these undergrad or graduate students and you put this in an environment where you show them you matter, you are important to us. Your work will help not me, but the technology, but the research to go forward, and we are going to impact in a positive way the human life, and you'd be amazed what they can do.
New Shores is a company that's also based here in Little Rock. We're attempting to develop bioresorbable polymers to be used in the biomedical field. And then my project that I'm working on primarily through the university, we've dubbed ETO, which is short for ethylene oxide. Ethylene oxide is a gas chemical that is used to sterilize a lot of medical equipment, but it's highly carcinogenic, so a very small amount of it generally leads to an increased risk of cancer. We are in the process of developing catalysts and chambers to neutralize the ethylene oxide that's used in the biomedical field. If it weren't for UA Little Rock providing financial opportunities and research opportunities, I would still be moving furniture or something like that. And in terms of specifically the graduate school, every question I've had has been answered succinctly. A lot of times whenever you're dealing in kind of research or academia, the wait times are what can kill you. So I'm just super appreciative that all of my needs have been met.
I really wanted to do, biomedical, something in that, and I was nervous that it was going to cost too much money, but I proposed it to my advisor, and he was like, let's do it, let's get it done. So my research is working on making artificial heart vessels from different polyurethane solutions, 3 different layers to imitate like a natural heart vessel. So this could be very rewarding for patients who don't have the opportunity to have a vein grafted, or for people who have had the surgery multiple times and just don't need that secondary surgery. The research that we do here at the Nano Center, whether it's biomedical or not, has the potential to either help you learn about chemistry at its very basics or literally save lives.
Chancellor Drail's vision and her work at the university, her leadership, has really set up UA Little Rock for taking advantage and leveraging the multiplier effect. When you invest in strategic research talent and you invest in students, those are mechanisms that feed on themselves. They help grow new opportunities. They help reach new markets. They help reach those who may not have thought that college was an option for them. UA Little Rock and Chancellor Drail's investment and partnership and membership with ARA has produced a number of benefits. One of those benefits in particular has been opening UA Little Rock to the world through investigators who are resident here on campus and able to pursue their research vision with the resources and support they need to do that.
COSMOS stands for Collaboratorium for Social Media and Online Behavioral Studies. And it's a pioneering research center that I have established to make our societies safe, resilient, and also our defense apparatus stronger to combat cognitive threats. So I started looking at how social media platforms can transform our way of lives, our way of thinking, democratized societies. We have seen the power of social media where a tweet or a video can transform an individual to a group, to a mob, and to a violent mob. So we saw how social media platforms were misused for waging these propaganda wars, narrative wars, misinformation, disinformation. We are looking at these threats more scientifically. COSMOS Research Center is among the very few research units across the world that are developing scientific solutions, science-driven solutions to these complex problems. These problems, such as the socio-cognitive threats or the AI-enabled threats, are so unique and have such unique challenges, unique problem spaces, that NATO and US Defense Department have categorized cognitive warfare domain as the 6th and the newest warfighting domain, aside from land, sea, air, space, and cyber.
And Dr. Agarwal always encourages us to see a research problem from multiple angles, and also pushes us time to time to understand a research problem not from the technical perspectives, but also if the solution of that research problem is going to have a broader societal impact. We get to collaborate with several researchers, and this particular approach has been a huge help for our professional and academic growth.
We are publishing at a breakneck speed, more than 50 articles per year in top-tier venues. And these articles have received over 5,000 citations so far from researchers worldwide.
We want this real-world implication research and social implications research to be more popular than what it is right now.
We make a concerted effort to transform all these research papers, transition them into usable tools so that our policymakers, our operational experts, real-world folks, practitioners can use all of this research.
Over the years, this academy has grown to 34 members across these 6 institutions. When you look at the state as a whole, we can be competitive with anywhere else on the planet. We know what we're good at as a state based on the competencies, the capacities, and the strengths of our individual research institutions being unified into a collaborative play. And that's really what ARA represents, is how do we harness the collective competencies into areas that can be leveraged to investigate and to pursue new areas of knowledge that are relevant for our economy and our population.
One of the biggest problems in cybersecurity is the lack of workers to do the job. There's just too much work to do. We're looking at ways that we can make that better, both by giving them a workforce, but also by looking at ways that technology and innovations can apply to cybersecurity in novel ways. We look for innovations that help industry. The great thing about cybersecurity is the problems are so big that we don't have time to compete. We have a great ecosystem in the state of Arkansas. How can we use our knowledge of how adversaries think to improve people's lives? And how can I take a very small organization that's just trying to survive in the economy and make them more secure without spending a small fortune? The Attorney General, the funding they've provided, they give us a space to connect our students to industry before they graduate. And so the things they're learning in the classroom, they can either do service learning projects, internships, but they can do it here on campus. They work with industry, understand their problems, so when they graduate, they have that experience. If you look at where we're located in central Arkansas, it's the capital city, the military bases within small driving distance. That provides us opportunities that don't exist elsewhere.
I'm excited for what UALR is doing in the area of cybersecurity, and I'm excited to be able to use some of our settlement funds to help fund the UALR cybersecurity program. Cybersecurity is an ongoing concern, not only for our homes and our businesses, but our country. It's a national security issue, and it is excellent that UALR can be leaning in as part of our efforts to protect us all. Thank you, UALR, for what you're doing on this important issue of cybersecurity.
The leadership, the vision for UA Little Rock to really focus on providing value to students.
You gotta stay focused and you have to be interested. I'm not gonna say it was a breeze every time, but my instructors really helped me. It's just been very worthwhile.
And their willingness to take on those challenges, and also to not hold back. Why not UA Little Rock? Why can't we be the best at this? That kind of growth mindset is just kind of pervasive here.
University research matters. The work that we're doing here is really critical to improving the lives of students. It's giving them skills that they wouldn't have had otherwise, but it's also going to create jobs, and it's going to create new economies and really impact the Central Arkansas economy and the future of Arkansas.